Shams, what more can you tell us about the NBA exploring the idea of adding expansion teams? We're talking about Las Vegas and Seattle here.
Malika, the conversations are underway. Sources tell me that the NBA owners will hold a vote next week to take the next step and explore two exclusive expansion teams in Las Vegas and Seattle as soon as the 2028-29 NBA season. This vote next week is seen as a formality to pass. It'll need 23 of 30 governors to vote in favor because industry executives expect bids in the $7 to $10 billion range for each of these teams. But first has to be a multi-step process. Next week, the vote that will allow the league to then have a bidding process for these two teams, and then, depending on where those bids shake out, potentially in the $7 to $10 billion range for both, a final vote later in 2026 to move forward with the transaction to bring this league to 32 teams. And so my understanding is there is a growing majority of owners that are on board with the expansion because the growth of revenue that's going to take place over the coming couple of decades with these two markets. There are still some owners, though, that are hesitant because the pie goes from 1/30th to 1/32nd. So we'll see exactly how the NBA has these conversations, how the bidding goes. But this is a first step to multiple steps of expansion in the NBA.
Very interesting. When you put the money in front of these owners, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think the question that comes to mind, Shams, is just the talent and how much talent is there to go around to support a 32-team league. We certainly will see, but this is the first step, as you mentioned, this voting process. Shams, thank you very much for that insight. I want to bring it inside our Los Angeles studio. We got a pair of championship teammates, Iman Shumpert, his bag, Richard Jefferson, Brian Windhorst. Brian, I am curious about the talent piece of all of this. But first, I think about the fans, right, in Seattle, in Las Vegas, and the real excitement there. I don't want to tease anybody with anything that isn't going to come to fruition.
We're not going to tease. I know that there's been some stops and starts in this, and there's definitely a process, as Shams was describing. But for the first time, really, since 2008, I think if you're a Seattle Sonics fan, you can truly start to believe that the Sonics are in the process of coming back. And that's what's most important. I think there's a lot of things to be ironed out, but I will tell you this. There are going to be multiple bidders offering lots of money for both of these markets. And I think because of the money, that will solve the other concerns. You can ask concerns about talent. You can offer concerns about dilution. You can offer concerns about the expansion draft. You can offer concerns about who might have to move to the Eastern Conference. All of those will be interesting. The panacea for all of it is the amount of money we're talking about here, which once the Celtics and the Lakers sold for as high of a price as they did, resetting the market, and they believe that there are bidders that will put up this kind of money, it's going to win over the owners who are on the fence and get this process moving.
I believe they call that Boku Bucks. A lot of money, Richard. But do you think the good outweighs the bad here? How are you looking at this?
Oh, this is all good. What's taking so long? I have no idea. We talk about, is there enough players? There's plenty of players in this league, especially when you look at some of the cap rules, right? So you can't have these loaded up teams. That means there's a trickle-down effect.
Well, there's a bunch of teams tanking right now. I think that's the question she's
We made it 4 minutes and 8 seconds without mentioning tanking.
But it's really, and Shump, you understand this. Seattle, Las Vegas, these are basketball havens, especially Seattle, up in Washington. So it's a beautiful thing to see it possibly coming back. I just pray that it's actually true this time because Seattle is one of the best places that I've ever played.
Yeah, get excited. If you're a fan, get excited. I think when you start talking about the NBA making more money, they're not going to step away from it. So let's focus on the money. It's a lot of money involved. Let's get the fans excited. Exactly.
Easy to focus on. And
coming.
then, maybe another one of your former teammates might be interested in that team in
That's
Las
a lot of
Vegas.
money. He got a lot of money. I don't know.
Well, speaking of LA.
Call a brother. That's all I'm saying. Call a brother.
It did happen right here in Los Angeles, Iman. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, they led the Lakers to, I think, their best win of the season. You have to see the highlights, though, to believe it. We're going to pick this one up. LeBron James always ready under the bright lights. In the fourth quarter, this is where things got good. Cam Johnson misses the three. He's been doing a bit of that this season.
Elite.
LeBron James diving on the floor.
I love it. And look, that floor gets hard when you're 41. That floor gets harder the older you get.
Aaron Gordon, though, is able to get the jump ball, but it's Marcus Smart cooking to the other end.
Defense wins championship.
Yeah,
Lakers take a 1-point lead. That's what he's saying to the crowd here. Nuggets on the other end.
Oh, this pass is unreal. Look at it in his shot pocket.
That's play.
Come on.
Tim Hardaway Jr. drills the triple from the corner.
That was a no look.
Yeah, he didn't
pass from Jokic. All right, so after the Nuggets made free throw, the Lakers down 3. LeBron inbounds to Austin Reeves, who this was called as a foul in the moment. The subsequent last 2 minutes report says no, but this was incredible.
Wow.
Oh, so they said that wasn't a foul, huh?
That's what Bam was trying to do.
I don't know what yeah.
Austin Reeves executes the perfect missed free throw, and he says the ball, I love you, I love you. All right. So to overtime we go. 30 seconds to play in overtime. The Lakers down. Marcus Smart hits a 3. The Lakers take a 2-point lead. Austin Reeves is hyped. And then Jokic.
Oh, my God.
This was good D. This was good D.
Banks open. Jokic finishes with 24 points, 14 assists.
Oh, you can't let him go away from the double. You can't let him go left away from the double.
Luka Doncic calls game with the beautiful fadeaway jumper. That is such a difficult shot. He finished with 30 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds, and the Lakers win in overtime. After the game, LeBron had high praise for his best supporting actor. Take a listen.
I can't think of it just right now because I'm still kind of engulfed in what just happened on the floor. So, just a big time shot by a generational player. He's just a big time player, man. And for us to kind of we wanted the last shot. We wanted to put the ball in our guys' hands. Started with AR. AR was able to find him. He was able to get away from the double team and just hit one of his patented step backs. So it's going to be just the first of many games with him in the Lakers uniform.
So Luka, he followed up his first 50-point performance with the Lakers with his first game winner, and then he got some help from Austin Reeves, right? They're 4 games with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, the third most by any duo in Lakers history. That's pretty impressive.
How do they figure this out?
We have the best stats team in the business. Alejandro's on the case.
Yeah.
And they did it 3 times this week. Richard, you called this game. I walked by you, the person who flicked the back of your head mid-call.
I appreciate that.
Was
professional, ladies and gentlemen.
Your biggest takeaway from the game, sir, was what?
That if the Lakers could play a higher level of sustained defense, I think they could actually have a shot because their offense is very good, but it's not an elite offense. You can score a lot of points, but you can't let your offense be what's going to dictate your level of success. And they just don't feel like they have enough defense consistently to be able to do that. They can win, they can dominate, they can do these things, but that's where you see those inconsistencies. You got Marcus Smart as one of your elite defensive players, and then LeBron James diving on the floor. When 2 old G vets are the ones that are making the defensive plays late in game, that just hasn't proven over NBA history to be sustainable.
Yeah, I look at it and see the same thing on the defensive end. And it's not a thing where you need individuals to do it, right? You need 5 guys doing it. It's got to be defensive principled. And you can just tell they're not spearheading in that direction right now. The effort comes in spurts. But like he's saying, if you can't put together 48 minutes of some sort of consistent team defense, there's not much we can expect.
Watch it away from this game.
What? Come on, get some excitement for the Lakers. I agree they're not winning the championship. I agree they're not winning the championship, but they got 3 things going for them right now. Their defense was absolutely atrocious for months.
He said we need to be
atrocious. For the last 6 weeks, they've been defending better. They've been sort of a middling defensive team.
That's glass half full to me.
2, they've been making threes. Okay, they were a really poor shooting 3-point shooting team for a lot of the season. Last 15 games, they're 3rd in the league in 3-point percentage.
Welcome back, AR.
And Luke Kennard, that helps too. And Luka, LeBron, and Reeves, when they played together, were negative for a long stretch.
And they figured it out.
Over the last few weeks, they've found ways with role changes to get there.
Staggering minutes.
Yes. Now I'm going to say this road trip coming up
the road
going
trip.
to test them a lot, starting with these 2 games in Houston. Now, Şengün is questionable tonight with the sore back, so that's a key when you look at that 44%. Houston's the 3rd best home team in the league. And if Houston wins one of these 2 games, it'll win the tiebreaker. This is really hard. And then look at that Wednesday, Thursday. You guys know to fly west to east on a back-to-back, very difficult. So these next 3 games, very, very difficult. So I'm not going to say the Lakers have arrived, but I do think that they should be praised for how they've rolled up their sleeves and improved their team as the season's gone on.
And if somehow they're able to go, 4-2 on that road trip?
That's a great road trip.
That's great.
4-2.
Road trip.
It depends on which 4 they win. If they win the next 2, I will declare the road trip a success. Real talk.
Oh, because
that would get the tiebreaker and push Houston 2 games back.
And they already have the tiebreaker against the Denver Nuggets, and so that could come into an important piece of all of this as well. But as the West playoff picture continues to take shape, we got to talk about Oklahoma City, right? That's where 2 leading men, Ant-Man, Shea, they faced off in a conference finals rematch here. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander getting ready. Let's pick it up at the start of the game, Rich. SGA driving past Rudy Gobert. making the
Defensive player of the year.
I don't. Everybody be all Rudy like that. He's been doing that to everybody.
And we should point out, as the
Just saying,
entire
it's a
basketball
layup.
world did, SGA only had 4 points in the first half. It's his lowest in any half this season. So all of us were sitting around doing that, wondering, okay, is the 20-point streak in jeopardy? Especially because Julius Randle, he was excellent for them.
Well, Julius Randle he's become kind of, I want to say he's the connector, and that's where he's at his best. He can pass, he can shoot, he can do all the little things that connect their team.
Game high 32 points for Julius Randle. Cason Wallace gets it ahead to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the layup. Shai was taking that first half a little bit personally. Were you ever in doubt, Chubb, that the streak was going to end?
Not at all, because you see him do a lot of his damage to close out a game.
Yeah.
You know that as long as the game is within reach, he's going to get to the free throw line. I always look for it to balance out.
He absolutely
And there it goes.
did. SGA keeps that 20-point streak alive. The Thunder go on to win. Here's SGA on his scoring streak.
I didn't realize until they were screaming after the free throw. Those type of things have never mattered. It's just always about walking out of here with a W. If I have a night like I have tonight and we win the way we win tonight for the rest of the season, I'll be the happiest guy on earth. So winning is all that matters.
I will definitely tell y'all he lied. He lied. He knew it.
We should have known someone who never sweats like Shai was going to get it done, but I'm not sure I believe that. Here's why it made sense to be a little nervous, though, Amon. 89% of the time during the streak, Shai's gotten to 20 points before the fourth quarter even began, right? So this time around, he didn't complete the mission until the last 2 minutes of the game. That's the second most minutes he's needed to get 20. You don't believe him, though?
I don't believe
You
him.
think he
I don't
knew
believe him.
exactly?
The crowd was going crazy. It's not that hard to count to 20. The crowd was going crazy every
But
dribble.
how impressive was this win overall for the Thunder? I know that the Timberwolves have been a little bit up and down here, but they're still not at full
They
strength.
scored 61 points off their bench. This is a game where Anthony Edwards did a really good job defending Shai. Jalen Williams wasn't playing, and they got 61 points off their bench. Guys, this is why they're going to be hard to beat 4 out of 7. The depth on this team.
They've made it to where it is now you have to be able to play 10 guys. If you can't play 10 guys and play for 48 minutes, you're not going to beat the Thunder. It's just the DNA of it today. They copied it from Boston, and now it's over there in OKC.
But they also are our chess team, so they can play small. They can play Alex Caruso at the 5. They can play Hardenstein. They can play Hardenstein, and then they can play a double big lineup. They can play a single big lineup with a floor spacer. So it's not just that they have talent and depth, it's that they have all of the puzzle pieces. You have 3 all-defensive players.
Right.
You have an MVP. You have an all-NBA guard. There's nothing there's no box that they don't check, and the quality of people that are in the organization willing to sacrifice, that's the next level.
And when you have all the pieces like that, they're able to then mix and match and play and match any sort of lineup that other teams put out on the floor.
And then finish any game with SGA.
SGA, especially
MVP-like thing.
against Ant-Man, who is also right now statistically one of the best closers in the game. All right, let's get to Victor Wembanyama, because did you hear what he said over the weekend, Richard?
I believe in whatever he said.
About Bam?
Well,
no, I didn't hear that.
He said that he's not even pressed on the gas yet, and he's aiming for an accolade that's only been done by 3 other players. Yes, he also said something else, Simon. And in the WNBA, after talk stretched into the early morning hours, he had 32 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 blocks in that win. He is the best net efficiency in the NBA, and by that we mean that the Spurs are outscoring their opponents by almost 16 points per 100 possessions with Wemby on the court. And after the game against Charlotte, he wasn't shy about his lofty goals for the rest of the season. Take a listen.
You know, right now in my mind is taking great care of my body, because I also want to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. So, you know, I'm trying to press the gas now from now on until the end of the season.
It's the earnest smile for me.
Yeah.
He says it just like, this is what's going to happen, even though, only 3 players in NBA history have won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year: Giannis, Hakeem, and MJ.
Yes,
what do
sir.
you think? He's going to join this company? How does he do it?
I think that the mindset is there. I think that I can only imagine that he will. As we watch him, we continue to watch him. He continues to evolve and show us signs of doing everything out there. Defensive Player of the Year, I know everybody's got their sights on that because he's so accustomed to getting blocks, being in passing lanes and changing shots. But when you start talking about a complete player, playing back to the basket, getting up and down, shooting the three like he's been shooting it, this guy has all the tools to be an MVP. I also love the fake smile to let everybody know I'm coming, don't be surprised.
Oh, 100%. And when you look at Wemby, it's just like, don't ever change. Wemby, this energy,
yes.
when they don't ever change.
Yes.
Oh, I want to win the MVP. And nobody's over here being like, wow, oh, this guy's a little.
Please be
they're
more
like,
humble.
Yeah, no, they're like, yes, please, because we believe in you that way. You are an alien. So we love to see a person with ungodly talent also have the motivation and the want to be great and not be afraid to say it. Now, the one thing people were saying, is this an individual? Is this an individual award? He's focused on that. If he plays at this level, the team stuff follows.
And he knows that.
And he knows that.
And he says that.
So I don't have an issue with him like, well, I want to win a championship. It's like, no, I want to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. If I can have a regular season like that, then we move on to winning a championship.
If he plays 65 games, he's winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Facts.
The chance it could be unanimous. You can't get 100 people to agree on the day of the week, but there's a chance it would be unanimous. If the Spurs pass the Thunder for the #1 seed, which I don't think is going to happen, his case for MVP strengthens. I still think this is SGA's award. He's been amazing this year, but he's going to win the MVP. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but he's going to win the MVP. And he wasn't saying that as an if. He was saying that as a certainty.
And eventually.
And that's the way he has spoken for years now.
Well, and this is the thing. The Defensive Player of the Year and the amount of defense the MVP is not just an offensive award. It's the best player. The MVP is the best player on one of the best teams.
I want to apologize.
What?
I said he was shooting 43% on threes.
47.
I want to take that back, and I
You're allowed.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rich.
No, that's ungodly. That's 100% ungodly.
And we're talking about someone who is 7'5".
But your level of defense should count towards how good of your MVP odds.
Without a doubt.
So it should count towards that. So when you look at Giannis, he was the most dominant defensive player. He was putting up ungodly offensive numbers. He is one of the few players that you could see do that, a Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, multiple times in his career.
I love it because he has now given us the Kobe mentality of I want it all. And it's in your face, it's up close and personal, but it's a smile and I love the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
But he's definitely coming to cut throats. He is coming to step on people that aren't tall enough. He doesn't think he's an alien. He thinks we're aliens for being short. Y'all got to deal with this. I don't.
I was going to say, he's looking no one in the eye when he says all of these things.
Everything he said.
I'm weird.
Right,
you guys are weird.
It's only out in Cleveland yesterday. First quarter, Flagg catches it.
Two-door.
Ooh.
Still finishes it, plus the foul. Jumping ahead here to the second, Mavs, they force the turnover here. And then Flagg, watch him getting out in transition.
I got hot.
He's not. This is what I'm saying. He is literally B- at everything, and that's a compliment. Not many rookies, not many kids his age have every single thing in their tool bag.
That looked like an A to me.
Why? I don't know where this B- come from.
No, the B-
I'm so glad you're not the team.
Flagg
No, but I'm saying
drives
B- is like.
Floats it in.
Can he handle? Can he play point? He's not A+ at anything yet.
He shouldn't be playing point. This is for development.
That's a compliment.
Development purposes only.
Well, gentlemen, they got the win.
Yes.
And he finished with 27 points and 10 assists
B-
in this
my boy
one.
like that?
That's not
And
B-
then-
B- is a compliment.
How about this as an A? Cooper Flagg at 19 years old and 84 games. He became the second youngest player in NBA history to record a game with at least 25 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. Only LeBron James at 18 years, 355 days old, because that's how we count age, achieved this at a younger age, and that was back in 2003 against the Bulls. Now, Cooper Flagg, he entered the NBA with expectations of a small town that raised him, a fan base that was reeling and looking for some new hope, and the pressure that comes with being labeled as a generational talent. That is a lot to put on a teenager. And yet, here comes Cooper. He's the first 18-year-old with a 40-point game, the most points in a game by a teenager in NBA history, and the second youngest player to ever reach 1,000 points. So, does all of that amount to Rookie of the Year? Well, he spoke in a rare national television interview. This young man, he's a tremendous talent, but for all the poise that he possesses, it's really easy to forget that he's just 19 years old. Hello, good to see you.
Great to see you.
I'm excited we're doing this.
Yes, I am as well.
I hear you're a big Harry Potter fan.
Yes.
Is that true?
If you were to be sorted by the sorting hat, what house do you go in?
Gryffindor.
For sure, Gryffindor? That's
Yeah.
me too.
Youngest player in the NBA, Cooper Flagg. His size, his skill level, he's truly a special talent.
Has there been a moment that you've thought, yeah, I'm the best player in this gym this season?
I mean, after I got drafted, it's just kind of like, this is the best gym you can be in. There's nowhere else you'd rather be. I just feel blessed, you know, be in this setting and be able to fit into this league.
There's been a couple of people that you have developed relationships with in your rookie season, and one of them is your head coach, Jason Kidd, and he decided very early on to put the ball in your hands. What was the biggest area of growth that came with that?
I just learned a ton about the game. You know, I'd never been in a situation like that, to be handling the ball, bringing it up every single time, and I learned how tiring it can be, and I gained a lot of respect for point guards because those first couple games are probably the most tired I've ever been on a basketball court.
Really?
Yeah, just getting picked up 94 feet, getting turned side to side, trying to handle the pressure and get everybody organized at the same time, it was exhausting. So I learned a lot about, you know, the game and what it takes to run a team, and Coach Kidd, you know, was one of the best at doing that, and, you know, I've learned a lot from him, you know, throughout this year.
Kyrie Irving, you all had a conversation about the spotlight and shoes that you are stepping into as the face of a franchise. What did he tell you?
I was driving home, and he had texted me, he was like, yo, just give me a call. He was like, listen, I understand. Like, I've kind of been through this before. I don't think there's a lot of people around you right now that could tell you they've been through somewhat of a similar thing. You know, he was, you know, that top pick and, you know, was kind of thrown into the fire. So he just, you know, stepped in as like a great vet for me and was just there kind of giving me guidance, because, I mean, there was definitely times where I was shaken up. I'd never lost that much in my life, but just to hear him say that and tell me that, you know, I'm doing everything I need to be doing and just to stay with it and stay positive, it definitely helped me out a lot.
What have you learned about how you handle adversity?
I've definitely learned a lot about losing. I mean, you have to learn how to still take away the positives out of every situation, but when I'm not winning, I'm gonna be upset, I'm gonna be angry. I always wanna win.
Former roommates and friends, Con Knippel and Cooper Flagg, number 1 and 2 of the Rookie of the Year.
What do you have left that you want to show? You know what, I'm the top rookie of this class.
Yeah, for me, I think it's something that goes back to something I said at the start of the year. Just getting better and keep proving to people that I'm not content.
Oh, my goodness!
Duke has had 4 players win Rookie of the Year. There's one school that has more.
Really?
Yeah. North Carolina.
Oh, God. How many do they have?
They have 5. So
Okay.
you or maybe your college roommate, Con Knippel, has a chance to tie it up. How special has it been to have these duels, these battles?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Con Knippel, welcome to Dallas!
Like, I know Con better than a lot of people. I know what his work ethic is like. I know his drive and how much of a competitor he is.
Oh, my goodness, the Con Man! Flagg fading and hitting.
That's probably one of, if not the most fun game of the season for me.
Knippel's already made a pair. He's got 3!
He had an incredible game. We were going back and forth. It came down to the wire.
Oh, my goodness! Oh, he hit it! Oh, my goodness!
Obviously would have loved to win it, but it was still a really fun game.
Winning Rookie of the Year would also give you something in common with your favorite player of all time, Larry Bird, who you got to meet for the first time recently. You're a little bit nervous?
I was definitely nervous. I would say I haven't been shell-shocked a lot in my life.
And you had to tease him in the commercial. Were you like, are you sure you're okay with
Yeah, they kept telling me different lines, and I was like, I don't want to disrespect him.
What did he tell you off camera?
I was talking to him about, like, the differences in the league now between the league back then, but a lot of the messages that, you know, he displayed can be seen through his play. Like, never giving up, like, being that ultimate competitor, playing hard on every single possession, and those were kind of the biggest things that he said. As long as you have those couple things of competing and playing hard, that you'll be all right.
Really appreciated Cooper's time there. Now, Knippel, he is the DraftKings Sportsbook odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year this season. Cooper Flagg is second, and then you see VJ Edgecombe coming in at third here. Knippel, Flagg, they would be the second set of college teammates to finish 1 and 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting after UConn's Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon in 2005. So you guys heard I posed this question to Cooper, so now I ask you, Richard, what can he do to finish as the top Rookie of the Year? You were talking about a B- compliment.
Yeah. Okay, look, if I'm here to be the person to teach you guys basketball, I will. I have no problem with that. Welcome, Sean. No, what I'm saying is I think he's just a great all-around player. And just like Wemby, he was a great all-around player, but then his game kept elevating. I believe him to be of a similar player. So when I look at Cooper Flagg, it's just continue to grow your game, continue to dominate, continue to elevate in every area. He is one of the most versatile players that we have seen, and I just want to continue to see that grow. The wins helping a lot.
Now, I just want to talk to this B- notion. What he means is he does have some A's in other categories, but it's an average, correct?
Yes.
We'll go with that.
For a starting rookie, there's not many rookies in NBA history that, in my opinion, are there and above. Most of them are Rookie of the Year. Most of them are great players.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah. We just got to get the B- out the way.
Well, listen, if you guys can understand the analogy,
I got you.
I can write it in crowns if you guys want.
my only other thing to say on this whole idea behind who you give it to, because I get that they have similar numbers, and then you have to say that Con Man is in a different position where they're in a win now, and that's going to look a lot better. But all I'm going to say is,
come on now,
when a race is like this, we've seen this similarly before, and all I'm saying is let's be consistent when we start talking about it, because we gave it to Brum.
No, wait. He broke the rookie record for three-point shots. He owns an NBA record. I'm not saying that the first to score this and that. Yeah. I'm saying more of over the course of the season is impressive.
I went back and looked it up. It was actually closer than I remembered between Melo and LeBron. It was like the votes were like 57-40. Back then there was more than 100. It was closer than I thought. And they made the playoffs. Hey, listen. Cooper, offense, defense, size, skill, speed,
B-
handle the ball. Defend multiple positions, checks every box.
Every time.
I mean,
this is one of those races that's going to come down to the wire, and Cooper Flagg is someone who knows it, right? He knows that he had to sit out with injury. That sort of opened the door in all of this.
I'm just going from what happens in the past.
Don't let that cool, calm demeanor.
Bro, that was 25 years ago.
And Iman Shumpert is not letting it go. All right, let's get to WNBA today. Friends, the league has still not reached a new collective bargaining agreement with the players' union. Today marks the 7th straight day of ongoing negotiations. Leadership working on this well into the early hours this morning. Alexa Philippou has been there covering it all. I hope she's had a cup of coffee because she joins us now from New York City. Alexa, the last time you and I spoke on the show, and you've been on a couple of times since, but we were talking about March 10th as the deadline that needed to happen for a CBA to be in place in order for the season not to be delayed. We have come and gone past that date. So what is the level of optimism here that progress is being made?
Yeah, Malika, both sides are saying that progress is happening, even if it's a little bit slower than we would all like. And I know a lot of people probably have questions about, is the season going to happen? What does this mean about the prospects of this season happening? And I do think it's important to note that it feels like we are on track to have a WNBA season this year. The real question is just exactly how much will the schedule have to be adjusted because these negotiations are taking so long. And I actually tried to ask WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert this last night. Granted, I guess I should say it was this morning. It was at 3 a.m. Right. And it was specifically about whether or not training camp might have to be adjusted. That's supposed to start April 19th. And she actually said she wasn't sure at this point. And so there's a lot of things that are still up in the air, definitely depending on how these negotiations continue to go. But I do think it's important to note that with the level of commitment we've seen from both sides here in New York, working these 12-plus hour days for almost a week straight, there does seem to be a lot of momentum for a deal to get done and for a season to eventually be had.
Okay, so that's the good news. Real quick, Alexa, what is the biggest sticking point in these 12 to 15-hour negotiating periods that you're talking about?
It still remains revenue share and revenue share system. Before, we've talked about how the players are asking for a revenue share system where they get gross revenue, and they think that what the league's asking for wouldn't be enough in terms of that actual split. The league on the other hand, is saying that the player system would cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. So they need to sort that out. That's obviously the million-dollar question here. Once they get that sorted out, I think we'll see a CBA to follow.
Okay, so that is the big question that still needs to be answered. Alexa Philippou, appreciate the time as always. We hope you get a little bit of rest here. Here's some of those important dates that Alexa was mentioning. The WNBA draft is scheduled here for April 13th, but we still don't have a date for the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire expansion drafts. That needs to happen too. And then the regular season, as of right now, is scheduled to tip off on May 8th. Again, could we see these dates move, slide? That's equivalent? All right. Well, Acuff Jr. scored 30 points. He had 11 assists. He led Arkansas to its first SEC tournament championship and first automatic NCAA tournament berth since 2011 here, Shump. And then at number 1, Shump, look away. Richard, this is for you.
Let's go. Perfect timing.
We are heading here to Arizona. Koa Pete, Braden Burry's become the first freshman teammates with 20 points in a Big 12 tournament game. The Wildcats, they won the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, new conference, Malika, but the same story. Pac-12, Big 12, Arizona wins. Y'all want us to join the ACC next?
Wildcat love here. All right, here's a look at your top seeds in this year's tournament. Yes, Duke in the East region, a little hurt though. Arizona in the West, Michigan in the Midwest, and then Florida in the South. So, RJ, you played in the tournament 3 times, right? During
Yes. Shump, you can sit out of this conversation. Continue.
What's it like? I don't even know what.
What? Go ahead.
I don't know if I like this version.
Yes, but that's like a cup of coffee. Also, you signed a 10-day. You had a tournament 10-day.
All right, as a mainstay on March's greatest basketball stage, Richard Jefferson, a highlight of your career certainly, until we get to some of the
other things.
The ends. What was that like?
It was the most amazing thing. The most disappointing thing is that Arizona hasn't been to a Final Four in 25 years. So I'm looking forward. Look, I was locked in, ready to go. Maybe it was a little fast. Yeah, what was it? I don't even remember what it was, but it was a great movie back in the day, Nicolas Cage. But this team, and you look at Arizona Duke, there were 11 pros in this game, 11 guys that were going to play 8-9 years in the league. And so when I look at the quality of college basketball, I think that there goes ebbs and flows. I think this year, this Final Four, this tournament is going to be one of the most exciting tournaments that we've ever had.
Did you watch that 2001 title game back ever?
No, I don't need. I know what happened. We got cheated. The referees, Jason Williams, all that whole guy. And most of those guys are nice guys. I don't like anybody from Duke, but most of them are nice guys.
Yeah, well, I don't have a cool
story. Yeah, I get it. That's why I take it. If you want to ask me another question, we're good.
I don't have a nice Final
There we
Four.
go.
Oh, you scored too?
Oh my God! I don't have a Final Four story to talk about. What I can tell you is that being part of that atmosphere when you go to the tournament, just feeling that the basketball gods, people talk about the basketball gods. I didn't really understand them until I got to that type of stage where it's like every night something crazy is happening. Every game that you're watching prior to your game, something wild is happening. You feel bad turning the game off to get ready for your game because there's so much stuff that goes on. But knowing that there are basketball fans in the crowd, even at your games, it's not so much a home and away thing when they're rooting. They want to root for good basketball. They want to see success stories. They want to see Cinderella stories. So it's just a great environment to be in, and shout out to everybody that made it. I know Georgia Tech got left out of that list. It's okay though.
They were the first. They were like what, the last 4 in?
We're rebuilding.
NIT. Honestly,
we're rebuilding.
The NIT is good too. I've never heard of it.
If you want to put Georgia Tech in your bracket, Chubb, I guess you could be our guest there if you, that's what you want.